Hello, and welcome to Better with Jackson and Jordan, where we try to get a bit better
every day,
every day,
every week,
and record it every week.
Yeah.
But every day we try.
This week, Jordan, what do we do?
This week, so usually we put two things against each other and see which improves.
We've done that twice.
Yes, this is our second time.
Yeah.
Last week we did intermittent fasting versus constant eating everything.
Yep.
This week we did I read the Bible every day, and you read Diary of a Wimpy Kid every day. So we'll put these two head to head, see which kind of improved our life. Is it better to, I don't know, enjoy yourself, read a bit of fiction every morning, or read Diary of a Wimpy Kid? No.
That's great.
But yeah, like reading like a kid's story or reading the Bible.
Yeah.
Put them head to head.
Yeah.
Which is better?
What's your hypothesis?
My hypothesis going in is that the Bible was probably... I think the Bible was better.
I'm going to hypothesize the exact same thing as you.
Yeah, okay, that gives me confidence because you've read Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I've never read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, by the way. And also, for context, I've never read the Bible and I didn't grow up with... religiousness at all.
Is there a particular type of Bible you read, or what was it?
I read the Bible that comes up when you Google Bible, and then you click read the online Bible, and then I clicked that, and then, so this is something. The Bible is split into like a bunch of little books.
Oh,
Fun
is it?
fact.
Okay.
And the first half of the book, I think, is the Jewish one.
Oh.
Called the Old Testament.
Yep.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, Jesus comes along.
Well, they can't correct you, so we really just trust
in the Patreon, they could correct me.
Right.
Then Jesus comes along, and he's like, some new stuff happens, and then it's the New Testament, and then that's Christianity.
I don't know if that's correct. I thought the New Testament was when they rewrote the Bible.
No, because if you read the Bible, it has the old Bible in the Bible.
Okay, well, everyone's saying you're exactly correct, so I suppose I'm wrong.
Yes, let's go. So I've just read the Bible.
Yeah,
so what I read was the book of Matthew.
Right.
Now, Christians will know what that's about, but it's pretty much the book of Matthew is Jesus' story.
Right.
So I thought I'll read about Jesus.
Important.
Pretty important. So that's what I did.
He's sort of, from what I understand, sort of the main character.
I think, well, I didn't read another book, but from what I've heard,
right.
Jesus is a big one. Old Testament is Hebrew Bible and New Testament is the Christian sequel. Yeah, see? So
interesting. I did not know that. I've got that completely wrong.
Because Jesus was a Jew,
and
there's Jews everywhere, and then he says, let's add a bit more to this, and then the people who are like, okay, that's Christianity now.
Okay,
then
right.
Muhammad comes along, he's like, no, let's do a bit more, and then that's Islam. That's kind of how it works. As far as I'm aware, could be completely wrong. What did you read?
It's a book about a young man named Greg Heffley.
Greg?
And he's sort of navigating his high school life. And as you can see, if you're on the video, I've done a bunch of notes. So I'd like to start with my first thing that made me laugh in the book.
Okay, so this is your day one of reading.
My goal...
We'll go through day by day what we read and what we learnt from our books.
I would basically read until I laughed, and then I would put it down for the day. So
that's already a good start, because I don't think I laughed at the Bible.
Oh, so there's one for Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh, no, I did, actually. There was a bit of
a gag, was there?
Yeah,
all right, day one. So sort of what it is, basically, is a journal about him getting through high school.
Okay.
First joke
and he's
that
a
makes me
wimpy
laugh.
kid, I'm assuming.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to try and read out what made me laugh. I don't know if it's going to come through.
Okay.
Today at school, we got assigned to reading groups. They don't come right out and tell you if you're in the gifted group or the easy group, but you can usually figure it out right away by looking at the covers of the books they hand out. And here's the two books. Einstein as a Child or Bink Says Boo. I thought that was funny.
Wait, so where's he? Which group's he in?
He tries to pretend that he's like really silly. In the next page, he says like he's trying to read it out. He's like, Fred picked up the bar, boo, and they got the book. And the teacher's like, oh, thank God. Because he's in the bad group, but then his mum calls the school and puts him in the good group. Because he is a smart man, Greg Heffley.
Wait, why is he in the bad group then?
Because he tries to pretend that he's silly.
Oh, just
so that he can
to get a laugh?
coast in school.
Oh, that's smart.
He's all looking to coast. So there you go. That's day one. That made me laugh.
A bit of weaponized incompetence there.
Very much weaponized.
Bit of a lesson.
I'm going to say, actually, another part that made me laugh that I didn't tag was Roderick's first prank.
Who's Roderick?
Roderick's the older brother.
Okay.
And it's summer holidays, right? And he comes into his room, sneaks in, gets dressed in his school uniform, sets his alarm at 6 a.m. And he's like, "Wake up, Greg. You slept through all of the summer."
Is Greg the wimpy kid?
Greg's wimpy kid.
Okay, yep.
And he's like, "Oh my God." And he gets up and starts making breakfast at 3 a.m. The dad comes down. He's like, "What the hell are you doing? It's 3 a.m. He's like, No. Roderick told me. And then he walks in and Roderick's asleep in his room. And I was like, that's a pretty good prank.
Damn, you got pranked hard.
That's day one of Diary
of a Wimpy Kid. All
so
right.
yeah, pretty good day. Good start, I thought.
Well, let's check out the Bible. And I've written down way too much for day one. I do apologize, but I shortened it up a lot.
You ease out.
Yeah. Yes. Because I kind of wrote down just what happened because I was like, wow, this is crazy because I didn't even know. All I really knew was like the classic story of he gets born near donkeys and that.
In a manger.
A major, is that what it is? Smash major.
No, manger. I'm also very wrong.
A manger.
Yeah.
Anyway, first thing I didn't know was that there's a king at the time and he gets super pissed and he actually freaking kills every baby under the age of 2. Because he's the king and he's like, everyone's like, oh, there's a prophecy or whatever. God is coming and the king's pissed at this because he's the king.
Okay.
He orders the killing of every baby under the age of 2. But throughout the book, Jesus and his family are a bit OP because there's angels and they just tell them everything. They're like, the king's going to do something bad, run away. And so they run away. Every baby dies. And then they come back later when the king eventually dies. So that's how the book starts.
So so Jesus is a kid at this point?
He's born, yeah.
Right, so that's... Oh.
So he's born. The king's like, oh, no. Jesus is here.
Yeah.
Kill every kid.
Right.
But they escape.
Thank God.
Because there's constant angels, which is pretty gnarly.
Constant angels, okay.
Yes. And then...
I'm just going to get an early disclaimer
Okay.
off. Jordan's going to get a lot of this wrong.
I've read the book.
And for people that are upset in the comments,
Jordan's
trying his best.
I do need some help with some moments, especially later on. But here's a bit of just how Jesus kind of comes about.
And second disclaimer, I'll get things wrong about Diary of a Wimpy Kid because it's hard to interpret.
People will be very angry about that.
People will be upset that I've called him Roderick when it's like Boris or something.
Okay, but this next moment I found very interesting. The Bible moves very fast, by the way. Just quick disclaimer. I was very impressed by how much of an easy read it is.
Okay.
Incredible pacing. It's non-stop. It's kind of like YouTube Shorts.
It's
honestly.
action.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a slow, boring read. But I read from Jesus' birth to his death in about 20 minutes a day. Wow. And it's pretty non-stop, which is awesome.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. Because it's like constant, it's like YouTube Shorts. And then there's some messages in there. There's some bits I was a bit, what's going on here? We'll get into it.
Okay.
But something I found very interesting was now Jesus is like, they don't say, but he's probably teenager now, maybe young 20s. He's getting to now. He's Jesus. You know what I mean? He's not a baby.
Right. He can fuck now. I mean,
not until marriage.
Sorry,
actually.
no, that's not what I
meant.
Very
important.
I meant like, you know what? Don't worry about it.
And so
he can fuck now. Yeah.
The first big thing he does is he goes into the wilderness and he fasts for 40 days.
Oh my God!
Which I thought was
intermittent or normal.
I think just straight up not eating for 40 days.
Right.
And I found that so interesting because Buddha fasted for 46 days or something.
No,
and then that's when he became... No. But it's like, that's when he became enlightened. And then this Jesus guy has done the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy.
So you think there's something in that?
Yeah, I was like, dude, if I was single and had nothing going on, maybe if anyone watching this is in that position...
Fast for 40 days.
I reckon fast for 40 days. Because so far, Buddha and Jesus have done that. And
they've become enlightened.
They've done some good stuff after that. So
well, I think you should just do it. If that's what you want to do.
Maybe that could be our next challenge.
I just live normally versus fast for 40 days. Yeah, go on.
And then, I feel like this is kind of Jesus going through his trials. Because then
this is all the first day still?
Oh, this is all the first day. Then
wow,
the devil,
this is action-packed.
The devil comes along. This is dot point 2 out of about 7.
The devil's the antagonist.
Devil is the antagonist. He comes along and he tries to tempt Jesus, and he tries to get him good here. So he's just been fasting.
Yep.
And he says, Jesus, why don't you turn all these stones into bread, brother? And then you get.
So he's got powers already.
Yeah, because he's Jesus. I think he's got powers.
I didn't know he had powers at this point.
Maybe he doesn't know he has powers, but the Jesus says, make the stones bread. And Jesus says, nah.
Jesus says, nah?
He says, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. That was number one. Then the devil
What does
said,
that mean? That sounds like a bit of a...
It sounds like maybe it's not about bread. It's about God. That's what it's about.
Okay.
Number two, the devil says, what did he say here? He says, he takes him to like the top of a temple and says you should jump off and kill yourself.
Well,
because God won't let you die. So it's like pretty cool. Like jump off and see if God saves you. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't trust this devil guy.
But then Jesus said, nah, you should never put God to the test. And that was the first thing where I'm like, this is a bit sus. Like, you should never test your God. How do you know if God's real?
Well, isn't that kind of the point? It's like you believe in him and you just like, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So he said that's what he said. That was that point.
Yeah.
And then what was the third thing that happened? Devil said, if you worship me, you get all the kingdoms.
I feel like I've gone a bit light on with my Diary of a Wimpy Kid analysis.
No. After day one, I quieted it way down.
Okay.
But then Jesus says, nah, you should just only follow the God, the one God, and that's it. So that's kind of...
Okay.
He gets tested and he doesn't fall for the devil.
Rejects that. Okay, good.
And then he gets baptized or whatever, and now he's like officially Jesus.
He gets baptized or whatever. Yep, great. Yeah. Okay, so now he's Jesus.
Yes.
Who was he before?
Well, he was Jesus, but he wasn't really like... No one was following him. No one cared about him.
What changed when he got baptized?
Well, I think he went through the tests of the devil.
Is that what a baptism is?
Oh, no. Then he also got baptized. Is that Jewish? Do you get baptized, guys?
Jordan.
Anyways.
No questions for the audience. You're teaching us.
Anyways, he does that. And then now he starts to teach. He has like the attitudes or whatever. And this is where the book really starts to send it off. He just kind of starts listing a bunch of things like humans should be like this.
Oh.
Be like
He's
this.
sort of recommending stuff to people.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's very impressive. I feel like it was very ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of very interesting stuff. A lot of be chill, but also fight for what's right. Like there was stuff about like just do what's right until you're dead because you go to heaven anyway.
Yeah.
And there was stuff about... There was a lot of like... show mercy to people who are mean. Because I imagine, this 2,000 years ago, you're just kind of doing human emotions. Like if someone steals you, you're like, I'm angry, I'm going to kill you.
Well, that's sort of a little bit of the point of religion, right? Is to instill rules in people. Because, you don't get born with rules.
No. And you can't just get born with your natural instincts.
Which are animalistic.
And I think it turns out pretty well if you listen... to kind of what Jesus is saying.
Well, say what you will about religion, but it kind of got us here. Everyone was religious back in the day. So, anyway, yep.
I feel like there's no society, right, that exists without a religion, is there?
Oh, don't worry about that.
Anyways, but yeah, there was a lot of that stuff which I thought was very impressive. A lot of show mercy. Have you ever heard of like turn thy cheek or whatever? Anyways, all that.
I'm really looking forward to go back to Diary of a Wimpy.
Yeah, sorry. I went ham on this. But then we also had night one. Because Holly wanted to listen to a bit of the Bible. She was like, the Bible? Let's put it on. And then we put on...
Wow,
okay. You can listen to it as an audiobook, guys. So
right, and then God sent on TV.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah.
And then there was just a lot of Jesus talk. I feel like the main concept all wrapped up was he talks a lot about don't judge people, even if they're the worst people ever. Like, show mercy and like just pray for them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, don't hate your enemies.
Yeah.
So I don't know... how the Crusades happened and all that.
Okay.
I don't know. That wasn't addressed in the Bible, but...
I'm sure it is, but it's not one you
I'm
read.
seeing a lot of Jesus being like, you know what? It's chill.
Relax. And what did Holly think of the Bible?
Yeah, she thought it was pretty chill. She was kind of just knitting and was like, oh yeah, chuck it on.
Right, she was kind of half listening.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you go.
Well, back to Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
So... Greg Heffley decides that he's going to set up a haunted house because he sees their kids in his neighborhood doing a haunted house and they're making a lot of money.
Okay.
So he decides he's going to do a haunted house.
Yeah.
So he sets up this poster, haunted house with live sharks. and there's a shark biting a guy's leg.
With actual sharks.
Yeah, and the guy says, ouch.
This is the opposite to what Jesus is saying, isn't it?
Yeah,
He's
Greg
trying to-
Heffley does a lot of lying.
Oh my goodness.
He's a very naughty boy. Anyway, he sets it up in his friend's house in his basement, and it goes bad because basically the first kid that comes in, they charge him $2, and he gets into the, what is it called? The Hall of Screams, which is just a table and them yelling on both sides. And the kid gets so scared he won't move, and then his friend's dad finds out and gets really mad.
Oh my goodness.
And then Rowley gets, Rowley's his friend.
Yeah.
Rowley gets, what's it called? Grounded.
Oh.
Let me just find out for how long.
Brutal.
It was a week, I think.
Brutal.
Right. Rowley ended up getting grounded for that whole haunted house mess yesterday. He's not allowed to watch TV for a week, and he's not allowed to have me over at his house during that time.
Oh no.
That last part isn't really fair because that's punishing me and I didn't even do anything wrong. And now where am I supposed to play my video games? Oh, this is good. So he feels bad for him, so he decides to call him up and tell him about his favourite TV shows that are on TV.
Yeah. Oh, like explain the show?
Yeah.
He's getting like an audiobook?
I bet this part's going to be funny. I was right. It was funny. That's him on the phone to his friend.
Explain it.
No. I thought that was pretty good. So there you go. That's day 2. I read, what are we up to? Page 60 now of the book. I'm kind of skimming it because I did start reading this part on day 3, but it kind of sort of carries over.
Very nice.
So there you go. Halloween.
That's great.
Haunted house.
Are we going back to the Bible
Back
now?
to the
Okay,
Bible.
Back to the Bible. I shortened it down. Sorry about that big day one.
Well, you kind of got to get me in the zone. So what's happening now? Where are we up to? So Jesus...
So now Jesus, he's starting to actually preach and he's getting some followers now. He's gone through his trials and tribulations.
Yep.
And now he is Jesus.
Okay.
And now he can preach. So that's kind of interesting. You know, go through, get yourself sorted.
Yeah.
Go through your own tests. And now you can start talking.
Right, so he's gone through his own trials and tribulations.
Exactly.
And now it's time to start imparting wisdom.
And this was when he said one of my favourite lines, which I sent to you.
You did send this to me.
I sent this to you. And he
A
says...
sty in the eye saves 5.
He did not say that. He says, guys, why do you point out twigs in other people's eyes when you have a trunk in your own?
And what does that mean to you?
To me, that means like, bro, why are you like saying...
It means bro.
Oh, Samantha fucking is fat and is so annoying, but you've got problems yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, just sort yourself out.
It kind of means, and I'll just sort of do it in quicker words.
Yeah.
Don't worry about others. Just make sure you're focusing on yourself because I'm sure you have problems.
Yeah, but maybe because Jesus is kind of focusing on others, isn't he?
Mm.
So it's like once you don't have a trunk in your eye, now you can start.
Right. Once you're perfect.
Once you've got clean eyes, you can point out some twigs in others.
Right. Do you have any twigs you want to point out? Or have you got log in your own eye that you can't help me with?
I feel like I'm pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
great. So you don't have a twig in your eye?
But I don't think you've got a twig. Do you have twigs?
I don't think so.
So we're good.
But no, but is that kind of the problem with this whole thing is that everyone thinks they don't have twigs? Or do people think they have twigs?
True. Everyone has twigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have twigs.
I know Greg Heffley certainly has some twigs in his eye, and he's always pointing out the logs in others.
So he's not acting very Jesus-like.
No,
and
at
he
all.
probably isn't very happy, maybe.
I don't know. I can't really figure out if he's happy, Greg Heffley.
But there's a lot of chaos going around.
Oh, heaps of chaos. Anyway.
Maybe you should listen to Jesus.
Sorry, I just got a bit excited about Diary of Wimpy
That's
Kid,
all
which
right,
was an
that's all
absolute page turner.
This is when things start to get a bit interesting, and I don't know what this is all about. Because he really starts to just start touching people and healing them. You know what I mean?
Thank God he heals them.
And the book... yeah, without that part, it would be not as good. But it's like...
so his powers are really getting honed.
I didn't really know what to learn from that.
Okay.
I'm like, what do you learn from this? And what does this mean in terms of what... If there was an actual Jesus...
Yeah.
What was going on.
Yeah.
But he's just like, oh, there was a blind person, so he touched them and they could see. And then this, they say lame a lot. And I don't know what lame means, guys, but it probably is like, I don't know, you'd like have autism maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Or disabled in some way. They just use the word lame a lot. And
Right.
Like, he was
sort of
lame and
crippled
then Jesus,
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like, Jesus just starts touching... Oh, it means crippled, yeah.
There you
okay.
go. Wow, I can't believe I used the word crippled and it was perfect.
So he just starts touching people and they're just getting healed left and right. And I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, I don't know. What's that? What's that for?
We've got just so everyone is aware that's not watching this on Patreon. One of our Patreons, Mud Puppy 49, has translated the Bible, so it's good to have an expert here.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Mud
Mud
Puppy. But I don't know what to get. I don't know what I got from that. It kind of is a bit interesting. I feel like
there's no lesson. You think just a bit of good, interesting reading.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of backing up that he's a good guy. It's like you kind of should listen to him. He can do that.
He can do that kind of thing.
So yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
speaking of good guys, let's go back to Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yes.
So he finds out that there's going to be a wrestling camp. Wrestling is PE for the next 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That's so he
intense.
decides that
that's
he
like
wants
an American thing. That doesn't happen in Australia at all, guys.
We kind of had that. No.
Oh, really? At wrestling?
School. No, not wrestling. Sorry. But like doing something in PE for a certain amount of time.
Oh, no. I meant wrestling specifically.
Right. No, wrestling we never did.
Wrestling is just not a thing in Australia.
Right. So he decides that he's going to get jacked.
Oh.
Tonight after dinner, I got mum and dad together and told them my plan. I told them I was going to need some serious exercise equipment and some weight gain powder too. I showed them some muscle magazines I got at the store so they could see how ripped I was going to
be. That's great.
Basically, his dad's super excited because he's always wanted him to get jacked.
Oh, son, you're fucking...
And he's like happy. He's like, my boy. An important side part is that they had divided the class into weight classes, and he was very happy with this at first because he's like, I don't have to verse the kids that are way bigger than me.
Yeah.
But he has to sort of fight the school freak. His name's Fregley. And Fregley is fucking him up. So he's like, I need to get jacked. He's like, it becomes essential to him to get jacked.
That's hilarious. So he's getting cooked and he wants to win, so he starts getting jacked.
So he has Rowley over because his parents are like, right, we need to see that you're going to do workouts. So his mum's like, if you do push-ups and jumping jacks for a week, we'll buy you some equipment.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm not doing jumping jacks. I've got to get straight to bench press. So
no cardio.
No
cardio.
Fashions his own sort of barbell, which is a broomstick, and then 2 cartons of milk and puts sand in them.
No, that's smart.
Has Rowley over, Rowley the friend.
Yeah.
I knew Rowley wasn't going to be as serious as weightlifting as I was, so I decided to try an experiment to test his dedication. In the middle of Rowley's set, I went and got this phony nose and mustache that Roderick has in his junk drawer. And right when Rowley had the barbell in the down position, I leaned over and looked at him. Sure enough, Rowley totally lost his concentration. He couldn't even get the barbell off his chest.
He failed the test.
I thought about helping him out, but then I realized if Rowley doesn't get serious about working out, he was never going to get to my level. Eventually, I had to help him out because he started biting the milk jug and letting the sand leak out.
Wait, so he's stuck under the bench press and he's not letting him...
He's not helping him out.
Oh, my, this guy.
After Rowley got off the bench press, it was time for my set, but Rowley said he didn't feel like working out anymore and went home. You know, I figured he'd probably pull something like that, but I guess you can't expect everyone to have the same dedication as you.
Wow.
So he didn't even do any bench press.
No.
Rowley went home and he was like, oh, well, I guess that doesn't work.
Did this reading that inspire you at all when you hit the gym? We started going to the gym recently. Did your book
Look, I'd love to say yeah, but no, not really.
Didn't come in your mind at all?
It's funny that he kind of has the same journey that I've always had until now with working out, which is like, oh, hell yeah, I want to be jacked. And then like actually doing the exercise, I'm like, can't be bothered.
Yeah, or like just not doing it right.
And also how he wants to have the best equipment straight away. I related to that.
Yeah, that's a classic, hey.
You kind of just, like, when I actually was successful is when I just started doing push-ups at home and then, like, got into it.
Yeah, similar for me. It's just, like, just start doing whatever is at least not terrible, like, fun.
Yeah.
Whatever that minimum is.
Yeah.
And then
do that for, like, a month or whatever. And then actually do
it every time, yeah.
Anyway, there you go. That's day, what was that, 3, I think? No. Yes, 3. So there you go. Is there a lesson there? Perhaps.
Help your friend. Because they're...
No. Don't worry about it. Don't get bogged down. Back to the Bible.
All right, back to the Bible. Okay. This is when I started getting a little bit concerned for Jesus, I'll be honest. Now, if this is offensive, I do apologize, but I just read a book and then I'm commenting on the book.
I'm going to have to edit this out. Go on.
Okay.
It just cuts to me talking about Diary of a Wimpy Kid. You know why. Here we go.
Well, okay, so Jesus starts to get pretty serious now. He says...
Mud Puppy says you've already said offensive things.
Okay.
So you're already knee deep. Keep going.
Well, anyway, I read the book. It's kind of like... No, I'm not going to say that. So you can speak about people badly, he says, and you can get forgiven. But if you ever speak about God badly, you'll never be forgiven.
Okay.
So it was a lot of... I really like the stuff he was talking about at the start of like, yeah, just your enemies, your worst enemies, have mercy, pray for them. Everyone, we can all be good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but if you ever say anything bad ever about God, ever question it, no forgiveness ever.
That's bad.
That's pretty... I don't know. It's pretty hardcore in my opinion. Not allowing...
Well, it probably doesn't really hook you in, does it? Because you've probably like, I've probably made a joke about God before. It's like, well, I'm not going to start. No point doing religion now then kind of thing, you know?
And it's kind of like a bit... You can't question things.
Right.
And that's when... Okay, I don't know if this is offensive to say, but very similar to... Do you remember when we read about the...
The cult?
The cult of... What was that?
Yeah, the guy that took everyone to the...
and it was all about equality and really nice at the start.
Yeah.
And then they brought them to an area where they kind of cut them off from their families.
Yeah. Well, cults are just like an extreme
stuff,
religion generally.
where things
sort of
go bad. Now, I'm not saying that it turns into this and it was very good in the end.
Right.
But then we get to this point.
Okay.
Jesus himself, his mother and his brother start trying to speak to him, and they're like, Jesus, like, what's going on? And
in regards to what?
Like, they just want to talk to him.
Oh,
They
right.
haven't seen Jesus.
Right,
he's been
busy.
going around preaching, and his mother... And
How does he come off? Does he seem like a nice guy you want to hang out with, or does he seem intense to you in the book?
He just seems to know what he's talking about. Very in control.
And is it from first person or it's third person?
It's from third person. Be like, and then Jesus said this. And like I said, it's kind of like YouTube Shorts. Everything kind of goes... He's just saying one sentence at a time.
Right.
And so in this, he says, nah, my mothers and brothers are already with me here.
Okay.
My followers, they're my real mothers and brothers.
Yeah.
And he kind of cuts off, it seems, his real family.
Oh.
So that's a bit... You know, he's not talking to his real mum and brother. He's like, my mama and my brother are here, the people who believe in God.
Oh, he's like, if you don't believe in God, see you later.
Yeah.
What's so his brothers and sisters don't believe in God? Brother and mother don't believe in God?
I guess not. Hey, no, throughout the whole book, Christianity does not even get popular, really. Right. Christianity, I think, guys, we'll get to that later. But, yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting there.
Okay, yeah.
And then I started to get a bit annoyed. Day 3 was not a good day for me reading the Bible, I'll be honest.
Right,
it comes back around.
You got a bit annoyed.
But now he starts doing a thing where he starts speaking in parables. And he's like...
And what is that exactly?
A parable is just like saying like a metaphor, like if a fish never climbs a tree, you know that one? It's
yeah,
like,
you kind of got it wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
If we judge people based on... I can't say it either, actually.
Yeah, so he starts off when he just kind of says, like, people should be like this. And then he starts being like, I'm only going to talk in weird
sort of riddles and metaphors. Yeah,
and then people are like, why are you talking in riddles? And he's like, I don't want the enemies to really know what I'm saying, but you guys, you know what I'm really saying.
Right.
And then that was...
Did you feel like you don't know what he's saying, though?
I felt like I'm...
Well, you're an enemy then.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like you got to be kind of smart to read the Bible.
Okay.
Because you got to work it out yourself. It's like, maybe just dumb it down
You're
a bit.
also not really one to take like messages from movies and things like that, are you?
I've started to come around.
Okay.
But I thought maybe they could have Jesus and maybe dumb Jesus. And then Jesus could be like, okay, what this means is...
DJ.
Be nice.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Well...
it comes back around, but day 3 I was like, I don't know about this Bible business.
Right. Well, back to sort of another important text. Day 4, what are we up? What part did I flag here? Right, the school play is starting, and it's pretty funny. The play is only a couple of days away, and I have no idea how we're going to pull this thing off. First of all, nobody has bothered to learn their lines, and that's all Miss Norton's fault. During rehearsal, Miss Norton whispers everyone's lines to them from the side of the stage. So she whispers, I'll get you, my pretty. They're doing Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And the person on the stage goes, I get that you're pretty, which I think was very funny. So he gets cast as a tree.
Yeah.
Because he realizes they have no lines and he thinks that's perfect. Because he doesn't want to sing in front of anyone. But then they come up with a song about the trees.
And the trees have to sing.
Yeah, we 3 trees. I don't know how it goes. Anyway, his brother turns up because he thinks it's going to be really funny to record him.
Oh, make fun of him.
When the play starts, he comes up with this genius idea: don't sing. So he just doesn't sing, and the other two trees are the ones singing.
Oh.
But then they start to get concerned that no one's singing, so they stop singing. So then they're just standing
Oh,
there.
because they feel a bit out of place.
Yeah, during the play. And then Mrs. Norton comes over and she starts whispering all the words to this song.
Yeah.
And then oh, yeah. Okay, a reason that Greg wanted to be a tree was because he hates the person that gets cast as Dorothy. And in the movie, the trees throw apples at Dorothy. And during the play, he remembers why he decided to do it. So just picks an apple off the tree and throws it at her and breaks her glasses. And the whole thing gets called off.
Oh, no. So he's not showing mercy to his enemies there.
Look, honestly, he should have read the Bible.
He should have. That's what I'm saying. Dude, everything comes back if you just listen to Jesus, I feel. Everything bad that's happened in this book, I think, is exactly what Jesus talked about in like a few sentences here.
There was another part that made me
honest.
laugh. Let me just get that part up. Right, so he gets all these Christmas presents and his mum makes him write thank you letters.
Yeah.
So he comes up with a template because he finds them hard to write.
Oh, yeah.
Dear blank, thank you so much for the awesome blank. How did you know what I wanted? How did you know I wanted that for Christmas? I love the way the blank looks on my blank.
Nice.
All my friends will be so jealous I have my own blank.
I love the way the blank looks on my blank. Could go very bad for a lot of things.
Well, he said, my system works out pretty well for the first couple of gifts, but after that, not so much. Dear Auntie Loretta, thank you so much for the awesome pants. How did you know I wanted that for Christmas? I love the way the pants look on my legs. All my friends will be so jealous that I have my very own pants.
That's so good.
Yeah, that made me laugh. And that's about all I read on day 4. And day 5, things start heating
Okay,
up.
well, my day 4.
How long have we been going for, by the way? This is an extra long podcast. Not that's a problem.
There's a lot happening in the Bible. We've
32 minutes
already. Why did you speed things along?
All right, keep going.
Okay, well, day 4, actually, this helps, because day 4, I listened to the podcast.
Right,
I mean, the Bible. And I didn't write anything down. I wouldn't recommend listening, because I was listening and it seemed pretty good.
You're kind of half listening.
But I didn't really get to write anything down. I wasn't looking at the words, so...
Right.
Yeah, that was my day 4. I really didn't get anything down.
Day 5, I read a part that made me laugh. Right, so... Rowley for Christmas gets a what do they call it? The big wheel at the front bike. Like sit-down bike, like a green machine sort of thing.
Green machine, yeah.
So they come up with a game where Rowley rides down the hill and Greg tries to throw a ball at him.
Nice. Classic
game.
Boys game.
Anyway, they play and nothing happens. The second day they play and he throws it and it hits the front tyre and Rowley comes off and breaks his hand.
Yeah.
Rowley starts getting a bit of credit around. Like everyone's like, oh, poor thing. Like, he got hurt.
Yeah.
The girls are all getting into it.
Yeah.
So girl's like, does it still hurt? And he's like, a little, I guess. You poor thing. Greg's like getting jealous.
Oh, jealousy.
He comes over
sin?
and he's like, I'm the one who broke his hand, thinking you get involved. And the girls think, the girls are like, you're mean. So he's like, well, I've got to come up with some concept of how I can get injured because I need the sympathy because it's getting him heaps of attention.
He wants some attention.
So I realized Rowley's injury thing was a pretty good racket. So I decided it was time for me to have an injury of my own.
Nice.
I got some gauze. You know what gauze is? Bandages.
Yeah. So he probably just fakes his injury, right? And just puts on a band.
I took some gauze from home and I wrapped up my hand to make it look like it was a little hurt. He goes over to the girls. It's a raging infection that was caused by a splinter that was left untreated. They're like...
It's so disgusting.
They're like, I couldn't figure out why the girls weren't swarming me like they swarmed Rowley. But then I realised what the problem was. See, the cast is a great gimmick because it makes everyone want to sign their name on it. But it's not exactly an easy way to sign a gauze with a pen.
That's true, yeah.
So his new scheme is that he brings a sheet to school. Like a piece of paper. Would you like to be the first one to sign my sympathy sheet? No one's interested.
This guy.
Anyway, except for Frankly, who's the weird kid who wants to see the infection badly.
Oh, man.
But he doesn't really get anything out of it. Another part that I thought was good in this day. See, the book honestly is pretty funny.
It's funny, yeah.
So they start to come up with a comic. The school has like a what's it called? Like a comic section, and you can apply to be the comic person that submits them in the school magazine. What's it called?
I don't know. That sounds right.
I need the word. That's really annoying. A cartoonist.
Oh, okay.
So he invites Rowley over, which is sort of a lot of things they do.
Yeah.
Step on a crack and break your mama's back. And then the kid steps on the thing. Hey, Timmy, your mother slipped on a banana peel and P.S. she is dead. That's the comic. That made me laugh. And then he says, which is important, Zooey Mama. Now, Zooey Mama is sort of the crux of their cartoons.
It's like the
punchline.
Wow, yeah.
And he's kind of... And then Rowley starts getting on them, but doesn't really get it. So then Greg goes, all right, we've lost the plot with Zooey Mama. I'm just going to hand it over to you. You can do Zooey Mama. I'm coming with my own concept. He comes up with one. He comes up with a concept called Creighton the Cretin. He wins. He becomes the school's cartoonist.
Greg?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's very happy.
Legend.
The problem is the teacher that edits the magazine completely changes the text when it gets released.
Oh.
Here's the new cartoon that the school submits by Greg Heffley.
Yeah.
Teacher, if X plus 43 is 89, then what would X be? X would be 46. Thanks, kids. If you want to learn more about math, be sure to visit Mr. Humphreys during office hours or visit the library and check out the newly expanded maths and science section.
What is this book? Yeah.
The kids start bullying him, calling him a teacher's pet.
Oh,
He quits immediately.
Yeah.
Then Rowley Jefferson becomes the new school cartoonist.
Ooh.
His friend with the Zooey Mama cartoons. And it's going basically.
And is that edited or
no?
Oh, for some reason.
It's not edited.
Greg can't catch a break,
and it's
bro.
going exactly.
Oh, Zooey Mama.
Exactly how he wanted it to go. The girls are loving it. The teachers are even getting in on the Zooey Mama jokes.
Yeah.
He is so popular in the school.
Nice.
And he's not happy. And that's what I read for that day.
Wow, so Greg's just constantly trying to get in with the ladies.
Greg's always trying to do schemes and stuff, and Rowley's sort of his friend that's a good kid.
And he's just kind of doing what he wants in a good way.
And it just works out for him.
Oh.
So there's a lesson there, maybe.
Bit Jesus-y.
Right, get a bit Jesus.
Of the other guy. All right. Day 5, I once again didn't write anything, but I just wrote down something that I thought was really cool from the Bible. And I felt like it started to help me in my week a bit.
Whoa.
But it was something I'd already been thinking about beforehand.
Right.
Where I feel like the concept of the devil is really good.
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe in a devil. And
it's
here's
a good
why.
fail-safe for a narrative, I've got to say.
Yes, but also I think it's really good because it's like, it means you're having like a 1v1 with him. If that makes sense.
Okay, go on.
No, let me explain. Okay.
Let me finish.
Let's just say, whatever. I'm really angry because Jackson, I don't know, didn't say happy birthday. And then I want to, like,
attack.
There's a situation where I'm not going to invite you. I'm going to be mean or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe I want.
Well, you got a wedding coming up. You're not going to invite me to the wedding.
Yeah, I'm not going to invite. I know. Or like, I have a donut and then I shouldn't eat the donut. But
yeah, I'm following.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to just resist that and resist
temptation.
That urge or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're like, this is the devil and he's trying to influence me.
Yeah.
For me, that gets like your ego on your side, if that makes sense. And you're like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. It's like, I can defeat the devil.
I can win this battle.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes it... Because I started to think of this recently before I started with the diary, where, like, let's say...
The diary?
What's it called? The Bible. The Bible. Let's say I'm in a situation where... okay, this is always my thing that I struggle with, but I'm doing work at home, and then I'm feeling lazy, let me watch YouTube or whatever.
You're like, oh, shit, the devil's in my head.
I wouldn't say the devil, but it would just be like... This is my brain having like a mind control attack on me, like part of my animal brain. I'm not going to let it win.
Right.
1v1, I win.
Yeah.
And it just gets to your ego on your
You're
side.
like, I
think
beat myself on the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really helpful. And so I think that's probably, I feel like that's such a good part of the Bible.
I think Greg could have taken that lesson because he falls for temptation all the time. And he does a lot of naughty things.
Yeah. So I think that the concept of the devil, even if you don't believe the devil actually exists, if you just the concept of him is helps.
Yeah.
So that's what I got from day 5.
Well, here's one. So Greg's got a sort of a situation.
Oh, Greg.
Him and Rowley volunteer to be people that walk people like kids home from school, like school marshals, because you get hot chocolate.
Okay.
So they want to get the hot chocolates.
Yeah.
Rowley doesn't go one day, he's sick or something, and Greg walks the kids home and he finds a stick with worms on it and then chases the kids.
And so he's not, he just is doing it because of the hot chocolate. Yeah.
And then one of the parents sees him and says, "That's it, Rowley, I'm telling the school about this." And Greg does not correct them. Rowley gets fired. And he tells his mum, he says, "Mum, I've got a bit of a situation, I don't know what to do," but doesn't tell his mum a situation. She says, "Need to make sure you do the right thing."
Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like he's not going to?
He doesn't do the right thing.
Oh my God. How are these two books working with each other so perfectly?
He doesn't do the right thing. When he walks through the front door, his mum says, "Did you do the right thing?"
Yeah.
He says, "Yeah."
Yeah. He's lied. What's
Mum,
been done in the dark shall come to the light, guys. Am I right? Anyway.
Mum took me out to get some ice cream as a special treat. And what this whole episode has taught me is that every once in a while, it's not such a bad idea to listen to your mother. He doesn't listen to his mother at all. He's done the opposite of that.
Yeah.
He tells Rowley that, "Look, mate, I'm glad you took the bullet for me. I told him there's lessons we could both learn from this. I told him that I learned to be more careful about what I do in front of Mrs. Irvine's house, and that he learned a valuable lesson too, which is this: be careful about who you lend your coat to." Oh, because he's wearing his coat. And he says to Rowley, "I guess this has been a learning experience for both of us."
Wow, this guy.
Anyway, Rowley dobs him in.
Oh.
And then Greg gets fired, and Rowley got reinstated as a patrol, and he actually got a promotion.
Wow.
Rowley said that it was said that Rowley had exhibited dignity under false suspicion.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of lessons you can learn from Rowley.
Shout outs to Rowley, not kind of...
He doesn't give in to the temptations of the devil, if we can put it in terms.
And he doesn't give in to... Now I'm bringing it back with, even your brothers and sisters, if they're not on God's side, fuck them a bit.
Yeah.
Because, what's his name? Greg. He's trying to do like a... something snitches get stitches situation.
Yeah, he is.
And if you don't listen to God, you're kind of like, "Oh, listen to my friend, put my friends above."
Mm-hmm.
But nah, on God, he dobs on him.
Yeah.
And he gets promoted.
He gets promoted instantly.
Oh, so it's coming back a bit.
All right, Day 7, John. Day 7's coming up big.
Day 7, we've missed day 6, I think.
Oh, I just did Day 6. You're on. Did I start?
You started, yeah, you did start. Oh, this is just something I found funny. This is a bit that made me laugh, actually.
Oh, a bit of a gag? Was it supposed to be funny?
I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but
okay.
It's making... Dude, okay, so anyway, day 6, I've skipped a lot, but he arrives in Jerusalem.
Okay.
And the whole point is he's kind of just going to be like... kind of like the king now, and like he's the man. And so he's got all his disciples.
Okay.
And all that. And it moves so quick. The way he gets his disciples, it's like, Jesus saw these guys fishing and he said, "Come with me." And then they said, "Okay." And then
no question.
That's just like, yeah, that's like he gets his disciples or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
following, yes.
Yes. He starts arriving to the village, and there's like a prophecy or something that the king arrives on a donkey. Okay. And so they're about to get to the village, and he says to his followers, "Go ahead into the village, steal a donkey."
Oh, and bring it out.
And bring it back.
That's pretty funny.
And if anyone asks any questions, say, "The Lord needs them," and everyone will understand what's going on.
This is a bit of a Greg Heffley move by Jesus, if I'm honest.
So
he sends Rowley in. Yeah.
And he rides in on the donkey.
When everyone goes, "Brilliant, here he is."
Yeah.
Great.
Maybe I've read something wrong there.
That's so funny.
Anyway, I found that really funny. Because the prophecy says, "Your king comes to you gentle riding a donkey."
Right.
And so he's like, ahead of time, boys.
And everyone's like, "Can you get the book out? What does it say about a donkey?"
And I don't know what book he keeps referring to here, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
And then another really funny thing. I screenshotted this. This is my first direct
quote.
Direct quote from the Bible, which is the
God.
section where Jesus curses a fig tree. And I don't know what lesson I'm supposed to...
Why does he curse a fig tree?
Yeah, I'm not sure what lesson I'm supposed to learn from this moment, so I'm bringing it up to you. Maybe you can
All right,
help me
I'll
out.
try and find one.
Maybe the guys can help me out. But here's the whole section on Jesus cursing a fig tree. And like I said, it moves quick.
I'm closing my eyes.
Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." And immediately the tree withered. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed.
Wait, Jesus did that? Had the fig tree done something up until this point?
Well, I didn't have any fruit for him.
What? And then he was like, all right, fuck you then. If you haven't got it now, you'll never have
Let
it.
me finish my quote.
What? Keep going, keep going.
Then the disciples saw this, and they said, "How did the fig tree wither so quickly?" they asked. And Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith, do not doubt. Not only can you do what was done to this fig tree, but you can say to this mountain, 'Go throw yourself into the sea,' and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer."
Well, the message comes at the end there.
But it's like, didn't he kind of use it for bad? So there's a fig tree,
I think he was demonstrating the power of prayer.
doesn't have fruit, and
Yeah.
he says,
Yeah.
"Die."
Yeah, that part I think is just like he's a bit cranky. He hasn't had his morning cup of joe or something.
Yeah, literally.
He's like, I need a fig. I can't have one. He's like, well, quick time for a lesson, everyone. Check this out.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was a bit interesting. there.
That's a big Greg move. He's back-to-back Greg moves.
He's a bit the donkey into the killing the
yeah,
fig tree. 'cause it
that's
didn't have
Greg.
fruit.
That's some serious Greg Heffley sort of shit.
I don't know what I'm supposed to learn from that.
Well, not everyone's flawed. No one's perfect.
That's something I found really because this is like the Son of God or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like God mixed into human, and it's like even Jesus, he's got a few moments where he's not perfect.
He's not perfect. That's good.
So I feel like that's kind of a good sign of being like even Jesus wasn't perfect.
Does he repent for that, or does he?
No, that's the thing with Jesus. No, he does really, because spoilers, he dies.
No way.
Yeah,
On the
which we're
cross
coming
or
to in
something?
the final day.
Well, before we get to the final day, well, a bit of a spoiler there, but right, cheese touch.
Oh, I've heard about this.
The cheese touch.
So you've got two big moments coming out. The cheese touch into Jesus' death.
So it's been sort of
Okay.
Yeah, it's been foreshadowed throughout this book. The cheese touch. Now the cheese is just a moldy piece of cheese that's been on the basketball court. And one kid got the cheese touch and then moved, and then no one has got the cheese touch since. Now,
Big deal.
earlier in the book, it was Halloween, and these teenagers were chasing them, and they ran into their grandma's house and started taunting them, and then went home. And now the teenagers are back. They find them right next to the cheese.
No.
And they make Rowley eat half the cheese.
Eat it?
Eat the cheese.
Oh my God, I thought you just touched the cheese.
No, it's savage.
Ew.
This is
big.
I'll put it to you this way. It's not actually said if he eats the cheese. I'll put it to you this way. They made Rowley blank, blank, blank the cheese. I knew they were going to make me do it too. I started to panic because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fight my way out of this situation. Oh, no. So I did some fast talking instead. I would, but I'm allergic to dairy. And believe it or not, it actually worked.
Wow.
The kid goes, "You're lucky, punk." And he goes, I know. Now, Rowley's sort of, he's having a rough time. Look at him here. Describe Rowley.
He looks like he's got the shits. Like, yeah.
Of course,
shaking.
the next day at school, everyone notices the cheese is missing.
Oh, no.
Do you think Greg rats him out?
Surely not. Not to his brother. Oh, but he might be wanting to get revenge because Rowley, what he did to him before.
He doesn't rat him out.
He doesn't. That's good.
Rowley was starting to panic, and I don't blame him either. If the truth ever came out about how the cheese disappears, Rowley would be finished. He'd have to move out of the state and maybe even the country.
God.
That's when I decided to speak up. I told everyone that I knew what happened to the cheese, and I was sick of it being on the asphalt, so I decided to get rid of it once for all.
Oh, no.
For a second, everyone just throws. I thought everyone was going to start thanking me for what I did, but boy, I was wrong. I really wish I'd worded my story a little differently, because if I threw away the cheese, guess what that meant? It meant I have the cheese touch.
Oh, no. And then, surely then he starts blaming Rowley.
No. Well, if Rowley appreciated what I did for him last week, he hasn't said it, because we started hanging out after school again, so I guess that means me and him are back to normal.
Oh, nice.
I can honestly say that so far having the cheese touch hasn't been all that bad. It got me out of doing square dance unit in Fed Ed because no one would partner up with me. And I've had the whole lunch table to myself every day. Oh. Today was the last day of school and they handed out yearbooks after 8th period. I flipped to the class favourites page and here's what was waiting for me. Class clown, Rowley Jefferson. He was trying to get class clown, by the way.
Oh.
All I can say is if anyone wants a free yearbook, they can dig one out of the trash can in the back of the cafeteria. You know, Rowley can have class clown for all I care, because if he ever gets too big for his britches, I'll just remind him that he was the guy who ate the blank, 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 blank.
Wow. Is that kind of the end of the book there? Wow. So it kind of ends on him doing something nice for Rowley, though.
It's character development, and I thought that was nice, because he
one
ratted out Rowley the whole book and given him a hard time, even though Rowley was always there.
That's
for
why I
him.
thought he was going to rat him out again, but he cops it. He
had
could say he died for his sins.
He had a twig in his eye, and he wasn't worried about Rowley's log
No, wow. Amazing.
in his eye.
The other way around, but yeah. Rowley, get your log out my eye.
I've only got a twig. There you go. That's Diary of a Wimpy Willow.
Wow.
Right, last.
There you go.
Let's finish up here with Jesus.
Final day of Jesus. Now, spoilers for everyone.
This
but-
is maybe the least spoiler thing, because the book's been out 2,000 years and everyone knows what happens to Jesus a bit. But talk us through it.
I knew he died, but I didn't know how he died.
Okay, go on.
He gets betrayed by one of his followers. So first of all, so everyone's a Jew, right? I'm assuming, they don't say the word Jew, but I think everyone's a Jew.
Is Jewish.
They're Jewish.
Yep.
Doesn't that mean... Anyway. They're Jewish.
Yep.
And the priests and the elderly people are like, we've got to kill this guy.
Right.
And then they talk to... His name's Judas. Judas. One of Jesus' disciples.
Right.
And they convince him to be like, we'll give you money if you give Jesus to us.
Oh wow.
My God, he
you
should
sell him out.
If he was called like Christian, maybe he wouldn't have done it. But he's called Judas.
Christian. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, long story short, Jesus just kind of knows that he's gonna die. He's been saying throughout the whole book, I'm gonna die.
He knows.
He's like, I'm gonna die.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
And then this is the Jewish festival called Passover. And so everyone's celebrating at the moment.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, this is where I die, everyone. And they have their final supper.
Is everyone like, no, Jesus?
Everyone's like, Jesus, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
And he says, one of you's going to betray me. And then they're all like, not me, is it?
And
Like,
does Judas say that as well?
Judas says that, and Jesus, he says something. He's like, if you say so, or something. That's what he says.
He knows.
So he doesn't rat him out. He doesn't rat him out.
He doesn't. He does a bit of a Greg Heffley move.
He does a bit of a final.
I'm seeing a lot of parallels
this whole
because
time.
he donkeyed and then he fig treed, and now he's taking the high road, just like Greg Heffley did at the end of the book.
It's very true.
Right.
And he says, someone's going to kill me, and it would be better if they just weren't born. So I think the whole forgiveness thing, honestly,
Okay, never mind.
is so gone out the window.
Yeah. It would be better if Judas wasn't born, basically.
Anyways, the situation happens. The people all come and get Jesus, and they start they capture him.
Right.
They start beating him, all that stuff. And the disciples themselves, Peter, the disciple, he kind of is like, oh, I wasn't with Jesus. No, I wasn't with that guy. But they start betraying.
Liar.
Yeah, start betraying his trust and all that. Judas ends up hanging himself after he's done that.
Oh.
He's like, I've made a mistake. I'm going to hang myself.
Well, he really messed up because he got paid and then didn't even get to spend the money.
Yes, and yeah, so he gave the money back and he hangs himself.
Yeah.
Peter's like, no, I wasn't with Jesus the whole time. And then they do the whole crucifixion situation and he dies. And then there's an earthquake. And there's a big earthquake at the exact same time
As his death.
as his death.
Jesus'
As
death.
Jesus dies, there's an earthquake, things start falling apart, and everyone's like, oh no, we've messed up.
That is Jesus.
That probably was
he
God's
gets
son.
killed because it's not. Everyone thinks he's lying.
Yeah, everyone's like, shut up, just die.
Did
We're
they
gonna
not see
kill
the
you."
fig thing?
They mustn't have seen the fig situation.
What
or
about-
any of the healing.
They didn't say they're riding it on a donkey?
They just didn't believe him, I think.
Right, but I feel like he showed a bunch of people about the fig.
So throughout Jesus' entire life, he gets he gets some followers, but Jewishness, what's it called? I don't know.
Judaism.
it holds strong.
Right.
It's not about it. But then, he dies, and then there's an earthquake.
Okay.
And he's like, before he dies, he's like, I'll be back in 3 days. They put him in the whole tomb situation. I feel like everyone must know this bit because I knew this bit.
Yeah.
They put him in the tomb. They're like, okay, well, he said 3 days. Let's check it. And, he's not there. They open the tomb. There's just an angel. And the angel's like, Jesus is over here. Go over there. His disciples go to the situation. And
there he is on a donkey.
There's Jesus. And he's kind of just says...
Is he smug?
They don't really say if he's smug or not. Like I said, it's YouTube Shorts.
I'd be a bit smug.
They never say like, and there Jesus was with his sandals. Like, it's just like, Jesus said this.
Yeah,
Jesus said that. And so Jesus just kind of says, you know what? Spread the word. Spread Christianity.
That's all he wants from them.
And then they do. And clearly it spread.
Happily ever after, really.
And that's that's Jesus' entire story.
And that's the end of the book.
And that was the end of the book of Matthew, and I finished that this morning.
Wow, congratulations, mate.
So, yeah.
So, did it impact your life?
I think, okay. In a weird way, I think it kind of did. Like those... I feel like it's just kind of... If you read it every morning, it's kind of just in your mind a bit.
Bit of lessons.
And
you were reading in the morning, usually.
I read every morning for like 20 minutes. Yeah. And then it's just kind of on your mind. And I feel like I had like a moment where I was like, I can't remember what I was going to do. I was going to eat a cookie or something. And
a devil moment.
A devil moment. And then I was like, you know what? Jesus said, just do... There was a lot of emphasis on like pray, do everything in private. Like no showing off. Everything's in private. Do the right thing until you die.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if Jesus could just do the right thing until he died...
Surely
even though no one's looking right now,
yeah,
I won't eat it. I won't eat the cookie. And yesterday I suggested to Holly, I should do some more housework stuff.
I think it'd be like, let's wait until marriage.
No, you should do some more. I'll do some more housework stuff because you're traveling to work and that.
Right.
Would I have said that if I wasn't reading the Bible?
Wow. The Bible has changed your life.
Do not know.
So now you've got more housework and less cookies.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got ripped off.
But I'm going to do the right thing until
Respect.
I fucking die.
Greg Heffley taught me to follow my heart and don't worry about anyone.
Fuck the haters, bro. Yeah. Jesus said, let the haters be.
Also,
Greg
there's
said,
like
fuck the haters.
14 of these books.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot. That was only a small part of the Bible. What does Gig Chat say? Matthew is the one where the crowd says, his blood be on us and our children.
I'm not going to get into that.
I can't remember. We've gone for a while here. We've got the
Almost
longest episode of all
time. What else? Would you recommend anyone else read the Bible?
I feel like...
Let's just do me. Should I read the Bible?
Okay, should you read the Bible?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.